Hello there, right here. We're going to be looking at two new types of farms. One is automatic lichen farm, and the other one is a glow squid farm. Both of these were just added into the game of Minecraft, and right as the new things are added, we did a live stream where we played around with all the new features, including making a lichen farm as well as a glow squid farm. And I do announce when those streams are through my YouTube, so make sure you guys are subscribed as well as have the bell notification turned on. And you might just show up in my next video. And thanks to everybody who joined those streams. The first thing we're taking a look at is the lichen farm. The way you get lichen in the game of Minecraft is just by finding it randomly inside of a cave. It does put off a light level of 7, so if you see some light in distance, it might be it. But it doesn't grow like vines. It is nice to put in some subtle light, or you can even put it over top of different blocks to give them unique textures. I definitely see builders and decorators using this block a lot. These farms will make it much easier to obtain large amounts of it. Unlike vines, it can be bone milled, and whichever side of the block that the lichen is being bone milled, it will try to wrap itself around the nearby blocks. So if I bone mill this one, you'll see that it spreads to the edges of this one. If I would remove these blocks, you'll see that it'll try to also spread to the edges. It'll end up wrapping itself around this way. But the lichen can be on multiple sides in a block up to all 6 sides, and each side can decide to wrap around a block. So if I remove these 2 blocks, this one here can try to wrap around on this side, and this side. This bottom piece is going to wrap around this side and this side. So let's go ahead and bone mill it, and that's what you see. That one wrapped all the way around there. This one went on both sides. This one here wrapped there and on these 2 sides of itself. Now that you understand how lichen will spread when bone milled, let's take a look at how I automate the process. In my snapshot review video, I showed that you can use dispensers to bone mill it automatically, but to actually retrieve the item, you do need to be using shears. Otherwise, you're going to end up not getting anything. Pistons, TNT, or even using like a silk touch tool isn't going to give you the item. Having a shears with efficiency doesn't really increase the speed at which it breaks, nor does having haste. Let's take a look at these automated designs. This first one here is very simple. You can see this is all there is to the entire thing. We got some bone meal inside of here, and this is the output where the lichen will end up. Let's go ahead and give it a try. You just stand here and hold down your left mouse button. When the lichen is broken, it's going to create an update, which is going to pull down this observer, and it's going to power this dispenser, which is going to bone mill this one in front, and then that's going to try to spread, but it can't spread anywhere else because there's buttons on the rest of the sides of this. So spread downwards, updating this observer once again, which is going to give a short pulse to this piston, which is going to throw its block up here in the air. And then that is one cycle, and then the whole process is just repeated. So this is a T flip-flop that flips between player breaking it and it growing, because when it grows, it's going to update it too. Now, the reason why you only want to bone mill it once is because it is possible to waste bone mill on this one right here without it actually spreading. So notice that I can apply bone mill to that guy there, and it doesn't grow anymore. So that's why you don't want to have like a constant clock. So this system will only bone mill it one time, and every time you bone mill it once, it's only going to move one spot. So this is as efficient as it will get. Now over here we have a little bit bigger system, and this is 2 lichen that are being removed by 1 player. This system is a little bit more efficient because of downtime when the system takes to replenish the last one they broke. This system has 2 of them, so you break this one and then this one, and by the time that one's gone, this one will reappear. Let's go ahead and give this one a try. You just stand here and you kind of aim on the edge, so you break this one first and then the second one. You can see that it just keeps alternating. It's actually very efficient. So let's take a look at the redstone for this one. It's a little bit different. We don't really have a T flip-flop here, but we just kind of have a system that will disable itself for a certain amount of time. So when this block here gets removed, it's going to send an update through this observer into this repeater, into this dropper, which has an item. The item is going to be shot through here and here at the same time. When it's pulsed, it's going to end up over here. Once it's inside of this hopper, it's going to send a signal to this comparator, which is going to power this dispenser through quasi connectivity. And then this is going to bone mill this piece, which is going to spread over here. That's going to cause another update to this observer, which is going to go back here and try to power this dropper. But when it does that, there will be no item in here yet, so it can't move this and create an infinite clock. And instead, after it's done powering, then the item will come in here being reset so that the whole entire cycle can repeat itself. I actually put 2 of these just side by side so that they're both independent rather than them both being relied on a single clock. That way, if one runs out bone mill, you can continue on with the next one. So here's a look at it. You can see that I did have to kind of shift them a little bit, make it tileable, but these 2 systems are pretty much exactly the same. And we have buttons on the sides so that it doesn't spread as well. We've got some hoppers, pick up the glowing lichen and place it into the chest. These hoppers on top just go into wherever your bone meal source is. Maybe you get it from a compost bone meal farm or a fish mob farm, which are both infinitely automatic sources of bone meal. Now, the thing that isn't infinitely automatic is your shears, because they will run out of durability. You could have a system that restocks you some tools over time, or you can go to a system like this. This is an infinitely automatic lichen farm. This is by putting the mending enchantment onto the shears, and then using the pigmen that spawn inside of nether portals to provide the XPs to the player. I have a lot of different farms that use this in the past, like my infinite snowball farm, but more recently I used this for my nether plant farm. So we have max size portals on both sides, and quite a few of them, and at the very far end we have 2 pigmen that are going to re-aggro the rest of them. So whenever new pigmen spawns into the portals, these guys will still be mad at me over there, which will then tell these other guys inside that they should also be mad, and they'll all try to run over here and try to get to the player and end up dying from max cramming, and then the XPs will come out of them and come close enough so the player can pick them up, which will replenish our shears. Now before we aggro them, we do want to make sure that these guys over here can't jump off of their platforms. When they get mad, they'll jump very far distances, even taking quite a bit of damage just to try to get to the player. And these guys, we need to make sure they think that they can get all the way to the player, so I think they can go through these trap doors here, and they think they can walk across here and get over here. Otherwise, they will try to drop down as well and end up underneath the player. So with our mending shears, we should be able to start this up by making these guys mad. And now they'll pathfind. You'll see they're going to walk over there, end up over here, and then end up behind here where there's those minecarts. And then they're going to take damage, and their XPs are coming to player repairing my shears. And then you can just stand here, hold down right click, and you can break the blocks until you run out of bone meal. You don't have to worry about running out of XPs, because you see it just keeps replenishing it. Plus you get a little bit extra that end up in your XP bar. Then the pigmen loots end up down here. You can see you got some gold and rotten flesh and swords. But if you do hook this up to like a fast compost farm, then you don't even have to worry about bone meal, and you can stay here forever. If you are AFKing this for long periods of time, make sure you're standing on this block here so you're close enough so those guys can make them mad again. And also, when it comes to holding down right click, there is a trick you can do doing pressing F3 plus T at the same time. And then when this comes up, releasing the mouse button you're holding down or any keys. And then when it finishes, the player will automatically be holding a button down. Now I can have my hands off the keyboard and mouse, and the guy will just go on forever. Really cool for automating Minecraft. If you see some items end up on edges, you can always put in some more blocks to keep everything in. With my double setup design like this, it produces a little under 6,000 glow lichen. Next, we'll be taking a look at the new glow squid, which upon death drops these glow ink sacs. These can be crafted with a normal item frame to produce glow item frame, which brightens up anything that's inside of it. And the new glow ink can be applied to signs, but it only works once you have dyed them. Then you can apply this. Now it's hard to see the difference between the two. You can see the texture is different in this new type of item frame, but when it is dark out, this is when they really brighten up. You can see this one is considerably brighter than that one, and if we go ahead and put glow ink on this side, you can see it's way easier to read than that side. Same thing applies to maps. You can't really tell a difference, but down here, wow, big difference when it's dark out. So this is a cool way you can add brightness to a dark area without actually increasing the light level. Now we don't know too much about how the glow squid is going to spawn in the game. Most likely it will spawn below a certain Y level, probably even lower than the normal squids, as in real life these things live very deep in the ocean. So they might be in the very low parts of caves, or they could be in like the very deep ravines in the oceans. It doesn't really matter how they spawn to the game. We can use the same setup as my simple axolotl squid farm, which produces squid ink, but now we can use it to get glow ink. When these guys die, they do drop 1 to 3 ink sacs, same as normal squids. And the farm works very simply, where we have axolotls which don't like these guys. If they're within 10 blocks, they will go after them and kill them. This will have them drop their loot, and it will free up the mob cap so more of these guys can spawn in. Items on death will float up to the top, where they come in contact with this water, which moves them over. Then they will fall into this trough, and then this will move them all the way to one end, where we have a hopper that is picking them up and putting them into a chest. And to run this farm, the player will be AFKing high up in the world. I went to way more in depth on how you can build this farm up in survival in my other video, which I'll link down below. You can also find a world download to this world if you want to look at it in more detail. And as always, make sure to check the description, as I will put any updates that occurred to either the glowing squid farm or the lichen farm. So before you build this, always check there first. I've made tons of new farms for 1.17, so make sure to check out those with the playlist down below. And if you want to get up to date on all the changes that were added so far to 1.17, I also have snapshot reviews on everything, including tricks and tips. If you made it this far in the video, don't forget to leave a like, as well as share it with others so they can learn how to do cool farms in Minecraft. I would like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye!